Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for The Alternates #1. This is a book from the world of minor threats from Dark Horse Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book has a script by Patton Oswalt, Jordan Blum, and Tim Seeley. So Oswalt and Blum coming back from Minor Threats and bringing in Tim Seeley. We also have art by a couple different artists, Christopher Mitten and Ian Herring on the colors there, and then Tess Fowler doing art and colors for a few of the pages. We also have Nate Piekos of Blindbot on letters. So, what is this book exactly? Let me give you a quick synopsis here. If you haven't read Minor Threats, I recommend you check it out. I'm actually not quite done with that book, but I wanted to check this one out. I don't think you fully need to finish the story, but I think it'll give you a lot more context for some of the events that are happening. So, in this issue, Mary, the multi-monster, the Tripper, Crab Louie, Kid Curious, Persona, formerly the offbeat B-list superheroes, the Alternates, who seemingly sacrificed themselves to stop an invasion from another dimension. Instead, they were transported to a mirror reality where they live complex lives in a more four-dimensional existence, expanding both their powers and consciousness. 5 years later, they return to Twilight City, struggling to reacclimate to their old lives in traditional two-dimensional superhero world, in withdrawal from the vivid ones they left behind. When elements from alternate reality turn up and as a dangerous new street drug, some of the heroes band together to destroy it, while others succumb to temptation. Um, what an interesting premise! Because even if you haven't read Minor Threats, I think the overall themes of the story are about coping with trauma, maybe even coping with addiction. There's definitely a lot of that imagery here in this book. There is kind of a support group for these heroes, but also this is all kind of augmented by like, wait a minute, this is a superhero world. There's superhero things happening, and there's a little bit of meta commentary and all that. So let's go take a look at the preview art here because I really, really like how we very quickly dive into the action here. We have the first couple of pages look like a very normal colored superhero book. We have a little bit of dialogue, and then comes in this part. This is the part where things go off the rail in the last panel, the last page. And as they kind of start freaking out, this reveal of like the car crashing with all the other stuff around it, like it was confusing until you get the full context of what's going on. But it looks great. I think it looks fantastic. Just vivid colors that really are in contrast with the more muted tones that we see earlier in the panels. And then we have animal imagery that's kind of playing in the background as well. You'll eventually figure out what's going on with the story. I don't want to give too much away. Also, we get little synopses of like these characters, as I mentioned in the opening, and you get to see a little bit of an illustrated form of what they are, who they are, as they are introducing themselves in this like support group that they have together. But sometimes some of these people don't really feel like they need to be there. Maybe they feel like they're coping with it better. So I don't know. It's really interesting. It's a really interesting approach to comic book storytelling, to superhero comics. It feels different. It feels like something I haven't read in the past. And the fact that these heroes all have very weird and interesting and just fun abilities that can change they're kind of constantly evolving. I don't know, I really appreciated that, so highly recommend this one out. I will say this might be something that I do read in a collection, so I think I want to finish Minor Threats first, and then go back to read this. But highly recommend it. I think the whole creative team, I'm a big fan of Tim Seeley in comics, but seeing Jordan Blum and Patton Oswalt step into this world is really fun. And then just great talent when it comes to the art. I'm familiar with Tess Fowler. I'm not as familiar with Christopher Mitten, but if this is what they're bringing to the pages, like consider me a fan. So highly, highly recommend you check this out. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here on the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.